It's the Les Paul Show.
I was managing J&R Music World, and BMG was releasing a Les Paul VHS video, and I was invited to the press party, and that was at the Old Fat Tuesdays. That's the very first time I had met Les, and that's in 1986, I believe. And then was years later when I was hired at the Iridium and to do publicity there that I became very involved with Les Paul, and I got to know him as a man and a musician, and it was quite a run working with Les, you know, and I'm really going to miss him. I had a lot of fun. He's an amazing guy, absolutely amazing human being, and I saw hundreds of shows of Les Paul over the years at the Iridium, and it never ceased to astound me or amaze me that every Monday, no matter how he felt personally, he would get up on that stage and sit in that stool and do that show. And I saw, you know, he suffered from arthritis, and he was a little frail in the last few years, and you know, he needed to be helped up on the stage. He needed help to put on his coat. But once and you could see he was kind of laboring in the last few years. And I remember some nights, you know, I said, you know, he's not, you know, no way he's going to get up there. And man, he got up there. They got him in the stool. They strapped the guitar around him. And once that guitar was plugged in and turned on, it was. He became someone else. He like a light went through him, and he became electric. And he was an entertainer. He was a showman, and that's what he did. And he put on a great show. And I saw it every week. And you know, it was interesting because he was so old school in many ways. You know, he went back to the Bing Crosby, Bob Hope days, vaudeville. He was a real trooper and the show must go on kind of guy. And he was strict with the band, the trio. You know, if they missed a cue on a tune that they may have played 100 times, he would really let them know about it. And he still did sound checks. He still did rehearsals. After all those years, he was kind of a perfectionist in that way. He wanted the show to be just right, you know. I always remember that about him. And he also could spin a good tale. He could tell a story, and he loved to tell them. Like sometimes he would, you know, at least a third of the set would be if he went off on one of his anecdotal tangents, you know. He would tell stories. You know, it was very few artists or musicians that people would come from all over the world and line up. And I'm not talking about just aficionados who were fans of Les Paul, the guitar player, Les Paul and Mary Ford, you know, Les Paul, the inventor of the Les Paul guitar. But people came from all walks of life, from all over the world. And this was another part of Les that I absolutely admired. Here's a man in his 90s who, for all, you know, could have put him in a rocker, just retired and been very comfortable. And here he is and just did a beautiful set, could go back in the dressing room, but he didn't. He would stay out there and sign whatever people gave him to sign. And he had severe arthritis, and he never said no. I never saw him say no. He was very generous that way, you know, and people would bring their guitars and their pick guards and old Les Paul Mary Ford records, and he would stand there and sign them and never say no. Les was very special. It was a highlight of my life.